What's going on, guys? Today is my update for my week 10 run on my 26 runs to excellent. So for this run, I did the same thing I actually did back in April. I ended up doing a ladder, which is a 200, 400, 600, 600, 400, 200. The main difference is that instead of having a specific time that I rested for, I ended up doing a slightly active walking kind of recovery for it. So in between each repetition, I ended up walking 200 meters, which works out for me pretty well because I also did these runs on a 200 meter straight line. So for the 400s and the 600s, I'd actually have to slow down and turn around because of the sharp turns. I can't keep running at the speed that I wanted to maintain. But it also allowed me to walk the exact recovery distance that I wanted to do. The 200 meter recovery distance ended up being about 2.5 to 3 minutes. It was just a light, easy walk that was meant for recovery. It wasn't meant to get to the other end and go as fast as you can. As far as times for these, I wanted to maintain that 9-minute mile and a half or 6-minute mile pace. So for the 200s, that ended up being 45 seconds. For the 400s, that ended up being 1 minute and 30 seconds. For the 600s, that ended up being 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So with this, I was actually able to hit all of those times that I wanted to, and I felt pretty good about that. I didn't feel completely killed after each run, and I think the walking recovery actually helped a lot more than just a longer duration but more static kind of standing in one place recovery. Something that I also noticed while I was running is I was much more conscious about making sure that I was running the right way, as in proper form, not direction, and making sure that I kept that up through the entire run at the same pace that I wanted to run at. This is important because the goal is to try and not speed up and slow down so much during the run, which increases energy expenditure, and just getting used to running at that pace that I need to run at. One thing that I noticed on the 600 meter runs is that during about the last 100 meters, so at the 500 meter mark, I would always look at my handheld stopwatch that I had throughout every run that I did this week, and it would always say like 1 minute and 50 seconds. So I'm like, okay, I have 25 seconds to do this last 100 meters. I'm gonna have to pick up the pace a bit. And the reason I thought that is because I always think that I'm gonna slow down at the end of a race. So if I pick up the pace, then I'm going to be able to not slow down, I'm gonna be able to finish faster. However, something that my high school track coach told me is that if you're trying to maintain your pace at the end of a run, you're actually going to be slowing down, and that if you think you're actually speeding up, you're going to be maintaining the pace you were running at. And this kind of plays true because I ended up finishing all of those right under 2 minutes and 15 seconds. They ended up finishing at like 2:14.83 and 2:14.85. So that ends up playing into the fact that I felt like I was pushing it harder, but I was actually just maintaining the pace that I was going at. I would recommend at the end of your run, don't try and just maintain your pace. Try and push yourself faster, because there's a good chance if you're just trying to maintain, you're going to be slowing down. And a couple seconds here or there could be the difference between getting that excellent and just getting a satisfactory. So with this, I think it's going to really help me if I try and maintain all of my runs at that 9-minute mile and a half pace or the 6-minute mile pace, and continue to do stuff like this for next week's run, as well as the 1st of July, which is my next mock run. Stick around to see that in about 2 weeks, and until next time, have a good one, and your mileage may vary.